would turn your attention on to the screen over here, right? Turn your attention to the screen over there. We're looking at a daily chart on the NQ, right? Yesterday, we had a large range day to the upside. Today, we had a large range day to the upside, right? So price is moving to the upside, man. Price getting up out of here. Price said, I'm sick. Hey, I stayed in this area here for all this time. We talked about that yesterday. I stayed in this area over here for all these days and days and days and days and days, right? I dropped down here into that old sell side liquidity that we talked about over there, right? For those who don't know what we talked about, that liquidity was down there at 23,025 in a quarter. That was that sell side liquidity. We got that sell side liquidity from the continuous contract. If you can't read that, that says PML, standing for prior month's low from the continuous contract, right? Because if you look at your front month, right, that's just going to be floating in the middle of nowhere, right? That's going to be floating in the middle of nowhere. Like, Tim, where did you get that from? Where did you get that sell side from? It's just floating in the middle of nowhere. That prior month's low comes from the continuous contract, right? So that's the liquidity we was looking to get swept, right? Looking at the front month, it's resting inside of a fair value gap from the front month, but we got the liquidity from the continuous contract, right? Because what we want to see, we want to see price engage liquidity before making a move, right? So we got a nice retracement back down, engaged some liquidity, and it's making a move. But Tim, if it's not there on the front month, because the algorithm remembers that back in September, there was a low right there, right? Because back when the September contract was the front month, the algorithm remembers there was a swing low right there that I never came back to. And there was liquidity resting there, right? The algorithm cares nothing about our foolish adjust for contract costs, adjust for cut. It cares not about that. It only cares that it remembers that it left some liquidity there that it was coming back to revisit. And once it revisited that liquidity in the discount of our dealing range, right? Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Hey, we've been going up, right? So now you can see on the front month right here, right? We have this volume imbalance right there, right? Why am I pointing that out right now? Because you would want to watch that to see how we close on a monthly time frame in reference to that volume imbalance right there. Now, here's a little jewel from Michael J. Huddleston himself. Let's jump over to the continuous contract. Right? Jump over to the continuous contract. Now, we're going to look at this volume imbalance that we're studying to see how we close on the month of April. Bullish volume imbalance on the month, right? It rests there. Okay. Now let me make it so that y'all can see it very good. I want y'all to be able to see it very well. So I'm going to thicken up my border lines so you can see it really well. All right. Can y'all see that better? Let's make it really thick. Okay, y'all should be able to see it pretty good now. All right, so that's the volume imbalance right there on the monthly time frame. Now, when you're looking at the continuous contract, now we already knew about the settlement price, right? We knew about the settlement price. Michael uses the settlement price. He turns it on and off, right? By default, they're off, right? But if you turn the settlement price on and your volume imbalance changes, right, you want to be aware of the larger imbalance. You don't want to ignore the smaller imbalance, right? You're not ignoring that, right? That's just a another level that you want to be aware of, right? So see how we hit that and that volume imbalance changed. Okay, let's do this right here. We're gonna get out of there. All right, we're gonna copy this, right? And on this copy, we're going to make the outline blue. Okay, making the outline blue. Okay, so with the set on, now everybody know about the set on and off. Now, the big deal that everybody been talking about is B adjust, right? Let me show you the liquidity we talked about here. This was that low, right? That low from September on the continuous contract. See that there's a wick right there. That wick wasn't there on the front month, right? And notice how low this BISI is on the continuous contract, right? With the B adjust off. All right. I'm gonna get to what I was talking about in a second, but I'm just showing you here, right, what we was talking about. Is there a space there? No space there. All right. Notice how low that BISI is on the continuous contract with B adjust off. Notice that we did not trade down into it. Right, we did not trade down into it, and there's the low from September that we was looking at as a prior month's low. Right now, we knew already that Michael uses settlement to look at the difference in volume imbalances. Right, he does the exact same thing with B adjust. Right, see when I turned that B adjust on, right? See when I turned that B adjust on? Now with B adjust on, this entire volume imbalance moves. So now you also, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to make this one orange. All right, I'm going to make this one orange. So now, right, when I turn B adjust on, the volume imbalance is in a total different spot. Okay, so now what you want to do, if we get a monthly closure in April above this volume imbalance with B adjust on or B adjust off, right? And then if I turn the settlement on and off with the B adjust on, it's a little bit bigger, right? So let's copy that, right? And this one here, what color y'all want this one to be? We'll make this one purple. Uh-oh, clicked the wrong thing. We'll make this one purple. Okay, so with B adjust on and settlement on, it's the purple one, right? With B adjust on by itself, it's that other orange one right there, that's higher. And then with B adjust off, it's lower, right? So now, and if you see here, when I turn B adjust on, right, see how we're inside that BISI now, right? And that liquidity is floating in the middle of nowhere because the B adjust is on. Now, the only reason you want to turn this B adjust on and off is to look at the difference in the size of volume imbalances, right? When it comes to liquidity or fair value gaps, the B adjust stays off because you want to see the liquidity and the imbalances where the algorithm created it back when that was the front month. Okay, back when that was the front month. That's how you base it off the fair value gaps. I mean, that's how you base it off of when you turn the B adjust on and off and when you turn the settlement on and off. The B adjust and the settlement is used by Michael J. Huddleston just to see the difference in the size of volume imbalances, if there's a difference in the size of volume imbalances, right? Now, so Tim, how are we to use that? Okay, now if with the B adjust on, the volume imbalance is higher, right? The volume imbalance is higher with B adjust on. Okay, with B adjust off, the volume imbalance is lower, right? Let me make this, I'm gonna make this black so I know that's the lower one, right? And then I'm not gonna worry about the blue ones, like the different size, right? You understand what I'm talking about, okay? So if we get a monthly closure above the volume imbalance, right? Whichever one shows the sensitivity, that's what you're going to default to, right? If we close above the volume imbalances and we start coming down and you start showing sensitivity inside the one with B adjust on, that's the one you want to use for your trading decisions. If it ignores this one with B adjust on and comes down and starts showing the sensitivity in the one with B adjust off, this is the one what you make your trading decisions off of, right? And Tim, how do we know which one that it's doing? Where we get our magical Fibonacci tool and we put our lovely octants or quadrants on there, and we notice how is price respecting or disrespecting, first of all, consequent encroachment, right? Are we respecting consequent encroachment? We're above it. Are we staying above consequent encroachment body wise, right? And on lower time frames, are we stair stepping up these quadrants to move back out, right? We're using them for support. We're showing strength, not willing to get down to the lower quadrant, not willing to close below consequent encroachment, right? If it starts doing that at the higher volume imbalance, if it starts doing that up here, right, in the higher one with B adjust on, right, then that's the one you're focusing on. If it starts to cut through this, right, disrespecting this, and starts to dig, then you start, okay, let's see how it acts at the one with B adjust off, right? And that's how you use it, the B adjust on and the B adjust off. Y'all do me a favor, man. Hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed. Turn on all your notifications so you don't miss when we go live. You want to be here. You want to be here. You feel me?